Hello friends, welcome to JQuery tutorial. In this video, we are going to see how to add elements dynamically to the DOM tree. So, when you are adding element dynamically to the DOM tree, means you are adding a new HTML element to the document. So, this video is to know how we can add HTML elements dynamically so that it will get reflected in the document. We know about the dollar function. Dollar function not only finds the element from the DOM tree, it can also add the element. So far we used the dollar function to find the element. Then we called or we chained the function to make some additional manipulation. To the dollar function, we can pass the HTML element to create it. So that's the way we will create a new element. To the dollar function, you can pass a select string. And if you pass a HTML element, then the dollar function will create that element and gives back the DOM object. For example, $H1 heading 1, here is the closing tag. So if you see, the specific stuff is a HTML tag, right? A complete tag we gave to the dollar function. Here it will create the HTML element, right? H1 element it will create and it will give that as a DOM object. So that's the return here. When you pass the select string, it will find the element in the existing document and give that. But if you pass the fully qualified HTML tag, then it will create the HTML element and gives that back to you as a DOM object. We can change this created element here. If we see, the H1 element is created and returned back as a DOM object. Right, the H1 is returned, just like how the select query selects and returns the element. In the same way here, the element is created on the fly and it get added to the DOM tree and the element is given back to you. So we can change this created element, in this case the H1 element, to the DOM manipulation function to insert it. So the element is created, right? It is not in the DOM tree at this moment. The element is created H1 as a JavaScript object. Then to add it to the DOM tree, you can make use of the DOM manipulation functions. The method prependTo and appendTo inserts the element as a child of a given parent, right? You can make use of a prependTo method or appendTo method. Both will add the new element to the DOM tree, right? But to add the element to the DOM tree, we need a reference, right? So that reference, whatever we give, will be treated as the parent, and the element, say for example, here we are talking about the chaining, right? The element H1 needs a parent. So once you give that parent, the prependTo appendTo will treat the newly created element as a child to the given parent. The prependTo inserts the element as a first child. appendTo keeps it as a last child. So that's the difference. prependTo will keep the element as a first child and appendTo will keep it as a last child. Say for example, let's consider we have a body tag. And let's say here we are ending the body tag. And let's take this as the statement. So when you are executing this one, it will give the HTML, right, in terms of a JavaScript object, and that is nothing but heading 1, h1 we are creating, right? So the element is created, but it is not added to the DOM tree, right? So you can make use of the functions prependTo or appendTo. Say for example, let us use the prependTo and we will call it as to here. If you make a call to prependTo, this h1 is newly created, right? And to that prependTo we can pass body. So this will establish the relation. Here the prependTo will search for the existing document. So it will search the existing document and finds the body tag. Okay, in the DOM tree, body tag is located. Then this prependTo is called on h1 object, right? That means we are adding the h1 element to the body as first child, because prependTo it's your first child, right? That means here we are adding h1. Right, this will create the element h1 dot prependTo the existing body. So here h1 is added. But if you put appendTo, if there are multiple tags, the h1 will get added as the last element to the body. So the relation, if you see, the body is the parent and whatever we are adding is the child. Whether we want to add this as a first child or last child. So that is decided by the prependTo and appendTo methods. The methods insertBefore and insertAfter adds the element as sibling. So that's the major difference. prependTo and appendTo will establish a parent-child relation. But here, insertBefore and afterBefore will add the element as a sibling. So before or after is decided by the method. So the method name itself states it's insertBefore or insertAfter. For now, let us take this insertAfter as 3. And let's assume that we have body. Let's also consider that body is having a table, and inside that we have table row and table data. Let's state that table row, table data is ending here, and then table row also ending. So let's say that inside this table data we have multiple tags. So let's say this is paragraph, this is image, right? Paragraph is ending here, image is ending here. We will consider like this. And now let's state that we already formed the element h1, right? Dot where we want to add this h1 element. So element is created on the fly, this one, right? We noted it as 1. Dot we are calling insertAfter. Now we are establishing the relation. This time we are giving paragraph, right? insertAfter p. So that means here, if you see, it's not a parent-child relation. Instead, since we stated insertAfter, after this paragraph, the h1 element will be added. So now it's a sibling, right, to the paragraph. So added as a sibling. So we want to add before this paragraph or after this paragraph. That is decided by insertBefore or insertAfter. So the main thing that you have to notice is prependTo, appendTo will establish the parent-child relation, right? To the body, the tag h1 is added as the child. Here, if you see, we are adding the same h1, but we use 3 is insert after. So we are using insert after, and we are telling the paragraph. So find this paragraph and add after this paragraph. So the h1 is now a sibling of p. So that's how the DOM tree is manipulated. Let's explore this function with the example. So here HTML is given for our reference. In the JQuery script, we create an anchor. We create an anchor for the document start, right? So here we are adding the new code snippet to our existing subseries example, and here if you see, to this dollar function we are passing the HTML content. We are using the anchor element, right? Anchor element is ending here, id equal to document start. So we are creating the anchor element. Then we add it as a first child for the existing body tag. So we use the prependTo method for that, right? So the element anchor is created. Then we are telling the element anchor element is created. So where do you want to attach that to the existing DOM tree? So we are stating prepend this anchor to the body, right? So this is the body tag, right? That means the location what we are choosing is this. So we want to add the created element at this location, right? Prepend to the body. So once the element is added, you will be seeing this anchor as a child of this body, because body is starting here and it is ending here. Inside, anchor element is placed. So anchor is the first child, h1 is the second child of the body, right? So we used the prependTo, and if you see, we added an anchor element at runtime to the document start, and we are referring that anchor with the id document start. The same way, we create one more anchor which will navigate to the start of the document. So here, if you see, we are creating one more element. Let's call this as a second element which we are creating. This is a hyperlink reference, anchor hyperlink reference, hash document start. That means when user clicks this hyperlink, it goes to the document start, and we are naming this as go to start. And we are ending the anchor here, right? The same way, so previously we created the anchor and we tagged it as id, and this time we are creating the anchor, but this time we are giving the hyperlink reference. That means we want to navigate to the start of the document when user clicks the go to start button. So that's how here we are creating the anchor. The first one is the id anchor, and here we are doing the reference anchor. So this will refer the portion of the document. That means the anchor that is placed in the top. When you click here, document moves to the top. Note the use of href referring to the anchor ID, right? Both we are creating dynamically. Here we are specifying the anchor, and we already added that to the document start by using the prependTo method, and the statement is ended here. Here we are starting the one more statement, and in that we are creating a anchor, one more anchor, and that anchor through hyperlink reference refers to the previously created anchor. So this is a document navigation, or we can say internal document navigation. Inside the document, from one location of the document, we are moving to some other location within the same document. we add this anchor to the end of every paragraph. If you see, we have multiple paragraphs, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 paragraphs, and we want to add it towards the end of the paragraph, right? The paragraph is starting here, it's running, and it is ending here. So after this paragraph tag, before closing the table data, we want to add this hyperlink reference, and we want to do that for all the paragraph. That means at the end of each paragraph we have a link. By clicking that link, user can navigate to the top of the document. So that's why here we are naming it a go to start. And if you see, we want to do that at runtime. If a new paragraph is added, anchor will get automatically created. So here we created a element, and in the DOM tree we placed the element. So the location is, let's refer this as here. So the location is 1 only. Okay, 1. This we are creating and we are adding it here. Right, now we created the second element. This time we use insertAfter, as we need this anchor as a sibling to the paragraphs. And we know that we have 4 paragraphs, and we call insertAfter TDP. So if you see here, it is the selection rule. This is also the selection rule given to the prependTo, just to tell where we want to insert the newly created element. Here we are telling insert this newly created element by making use of the search rule. So insertAfter TD, find all the TD, right, that is having the paragraph tag. So if you look at, if we ask to find the TD, we will be getting 4 TD elements, and then we are asking to find the paragraph inside this TD element. So if you look at here, the insertAfter TDP, right, this TDP selection will give us 4 objects, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 objects it will give, and that means we are telling that create this new anchor element at the end of all these found paragraph elements, right? That means the new location for this anchor is, so at this location it will get added, and if you see, it will get added multiple times. insertAfter, so P insertAfter, so this will be the new sibling for each paragraph that is found inside the document, right? So we added element 2 4 times on this existing document. If it has some 20 paragraph, the go to start will be added 20 times. Alright, now let's go to the demo and see how this is working. So we already have the document from our previous example. We created a new HTML and copied the content from example 19. Alright, now here we will add snippet 3, which will create few more elements in the document at runtime. Right, if you see, we are adding the start of the document. I mean, we are adding an anchor to the start of the document. Then we are creating multiple hyperlinks. Right, this was already explained in the slide. Now we added this. Alright, now we will run it. when we go to inspect, and if you see, this is the body, right? We added the anchor, right? Using the prependTo method, this anchor is added dynamically, and we specified body as the parent to the prependTo method. Then if we want to examine the table row, this is the table data, right? Paragraph. At the end of each paragraph, we are adding a hyperlink reference. So things are working, right? Now we will see whether it is navigating to the document start. So here the paragraphs are short, but in real world, if there are a lengthy document and there are multiple paragraphs, user will read the content, and if they want to go to start, they will click this link and they will go to the top of the document, right? And we formed all these hyperlink dynamically. That's all here in this video. Now you know how to use appendTo, prependTo, insertAfter, and insertBefore. So this performs DAM manipulation by adding a new node to it. Thank you for watching. Bye.